Good afternoon, beautiful butterflies. How are you all today, all over the world? My name, for those who do not know me, my name is Kisha Johnson Mcrae, aka Voice of Kisha J, and I am CEO of Beautiful Butterfly Queen Enterprise. And Queen is spelled Kween, and that stands for my movement, which is Kingdom Women Embracing Emotional Newness, right? And this is actually a random video, and I believe it's because God put something on my heart, right? So it's not like I have any notes in front of me, because I don't, right? So I am a certified life coach, right? And I specialize in the area of emotional wellness, emotional well-being, right? Emotional overwhelm. And I deal with and I serve women of God who are battling and who are warriors of a chronic illness called lupus, and are dealing with strictly overwhelm, overthinking, just emotionally don't have control of their emotions, and at the same time they're raising a son with ADHD, and that's attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. And I'm sure a lot of you know what that is already. I'm not going to get too much into that, but ADHD is a neurological disorder of the brain, and you have more or less a lot of boys who are being diagnosed with it. However, girls are not diagnosed as much as boys, and that's mainly because it's overlooked, right? So it's a very complex disorder, and also the same as lupus. Lupus is an autoimmune disorder that causes the body to fight against itself. So what happens is the body attacks our good cells, and the body attacks our organs, such as our kidneys, can touch our brain, it can touch our liver, and all areas of our internal body, right? So those are just little brief descriptions of the women I deal with, right, and what they're going through. And that's because that was me. That was all that I just described used to be me. And I used to battle with my emotions, right? I mean, it was like my emotions used to attack me, and I used to allow it. It was so bad with my emotions that I didn't have control of myself, right? Whatever was told to me, that's what it was. My emotions reacted to it. For example, yes, I was diagnosed with lupus at 19, 20 years old. I'm 52 now, right? And I lived my life for several decades, right? For like 2 decades, I've lived my life in pain, stressed, overwhelmed, right? With lupus, because that's all I knew. You know, my emotional, my mindset, my mental state was always off the charts, was always out of control. I felt like I couldn't even think for myself, right? I didn't have the insight to see things at a different and a better perspective, that I could live life in a different way. And to fast forward into now, I also raised a son with ADHD, so I know the complexities of dealing with a chronic disorder and dealing with a child with some type of mental disorder. You know, everybody here that's watching me, you may not have a son with ADHD, but you may know what it is to have and raise a son that has special needs. Strictly for me, it was ADHD. And at the same time, I also myself went through streams of ADHD symptoms, right? I never talk about being diagnosed because I never was diagnosed, right? Up until maybe several years ago, I realized that I could have ADHD myself, right? But that's a different video. I'll talk more about that. You know, you keep watching my channel and I'll talk more about that. However, in the interim of all of that, I want everybody to know and understand that you do have the ability to have control over your emotions. Now, I don't make no medical claims of healing or healing anyone. I don't make no medical claims of being able to solve all of your issues, but what I could guarantee you is by my experience, my 20, 30 years of experience, and also certain people that I have helped, right, with their emotions and just trying to understand that it's very important to adapt the skills when it all comes down to is emotional intelligence. However, when I talk about emotional intelligence, I talk about it being rooted in biblical principles, right? So it may be a little different than what you may know emotional intelligence to be, but it all works the same way, except that I move more with it in a biblical sense, right? Kingdom discipline, kingdom principles. That's how I am going to talk with you and try to empower you and encourage you about adapting those type of skills, and to empower you to tell you that it's possible. Just because we're Christians doesn't mean that we don't go through emotional issues, right? Your mental health overall is very important. It consists of your mental health, your emotional health, your physical health, your spiritual health. All of that plays a part. So when it all boils down to, I want to say to you that it's very important that, number one, if you feel that something is not right with you, right, as a mom, don't be ashamed to seek the help that you need, right? If it ain't for the people that you think will help you, then seek it to some people that you may not think will help you, because 9 times out of 10, the one that you think not going to help you are the ones that do help you. So I want you to, number one, to also make sure that you are seeking the professional view on what you're feeling, right? Whether that's a psychiatrist, whether that's a medical professional first, right? Before you try to do any holistic or maybes or what ifs about your condition, right? And then from there, you feed off of that and you work on yourself, right? But I can give you the tips, some tips and tricks and strategies, and that's what I do with the women that I serve. I help them to be able to live a better quality of life, right? To live a better quality of life with these emotional and overwhelmed issues, because that's what it boils down to. They're struggling to have control of their emotions. And this is not something that you can say that everybody has that issue, because everybody don't have that issue, because some of us know how to refrain, some of us know how to reflect, some of us know how to step back. When in doubt, in my earlier days of my life, I was a hot mess. You couldn't come to me with any bad news. You couldn't come to me with anything, because it was almost like I would pass out, I would faint, or I would it was just drama, I would bring with everything, because everything that was negative and was out of my control and that I didn't expect, what would happen is my mental state would go to a level of, that's all I saw. I didn't see no way out. Everything appeared so big for me. And I don't know if any of this is resonating with any of you. I don't want to stay on too long with this. I want to be on here, talk to y'all more than 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see my face more than 10 minutes. But that's what it is. The power of emotional intelligence is being able to refrain, reflect, and before you do something outrageous, which we all are human, it can happen. But when you find yourself in so many instances where you're in trouble with the law, and so many things happening, when you look back, you can say to yourself, you know what? I could have prevented that if maybe I would have just shut my mouth. Maybe if I didn't reach over, or maybe I didn't move towards them to act like maybe, or them to think I was going to hit them. Anything, right? And what I love about this is because, prayer and surrendering to God is what helped me. Prayer really, really gave me a sense of peace, because there was a time in my life when everything was out of control, and I'm going to talk more about that. But it was a time in my life when everything was out of control in my life. Everything. You know, I couldn't control my finances. I couldn't control my health. Control my pain. Control my household. I couldn't control nothing. You know, my marriages was out of control. So there's a time that we have to sit back. And what I can tell you to do is this. Sit down, you know, as a kingdom woman, sit down and really, really get some time and space to yourself when nobody is around. Go in your prayer closet or whatever you call it, right? Go in your area, go in your bathroom, go in your area and just sit there. Stay quiet, right? Because we know God knows our heart. We already know when we don't know what to say. If we sit quiet before God and just ask God to search our hearts at the present time, because we don't know what's going on in our lives and we need his help. We need him to step in, right? And to pull us away, pull us out of it, and just surrender everything to him so he can give us the insight to see what's actually going on with us and what we need to do to make it better and change. I got all of these things crawling on me. I'm out here in this beautiful air. But anyway, yeah, seek the Lord, seek God. That's one thing I could just tell you right now. And I know I said a lot, but if you don't take anything from this video, take that it's possible. It is very possible to be able to control your emotions and have a better quality of life and daily functioning, so you can become more available emotionally for your child that you're raising with ADHD, and more available to yourself, right? And live with peace of mind. Peace of mind. Self-control is one of the fruit of the spirit. So self-control is important. And I think that's about it that I want to say to you all, guys. I just had all of this on my heart. And you may or may not watch this whole video, but if it resonated with you, right, let me know in the comments what resonated with you and what more you would like to hear in reference to emotional intelligence God's way. That's emotional intelligence just rooted in biblical principles, right? Because it all boils down to our emotional well-being. It should be a strong conversation, not a struggling secret at all. With that said, this again is your girl, Kisha Johnson Mcrae, certified life coach, CEO and founder of Beautiful Butterfly Queen, KWEEN Enterprise. And I want to say to you, thank you for listening to me. Thank you for your patience. And just thank you for paying attention to this random video. I love you all forever and 2 days. Bye for now.